Hold on, stop. Think about the drink before you take a drop. Read up on the label on the back. They say it's sugar, low in fat. But don't be fooled by that. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody, yeah.
This message is brought to you by Lake Health and Wellbeing.
There is nothing good about jail. I don't want to be here.
My father told me that as far as he was concerned, I could stay in the home forever.
Our children deserve a chance for change. Children make mistakes, and child justice reform can help everyone to address these mistakes appropriately. Instead of sending a child to adult prison, let us give them alternative sentencing. We must divert our children from the court system through a holistic and systematic approach to addressing their offense and their road to rehabilitation. Rehabilitation helps child offenders to grow, change, learn from mistakes, accept responsibility, and make better choices. Reintegration of child offenders into the community after rehabilitation benefits the child, the family, and the community with a more productive citizen. Join the movement to give our children a chance for change. This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
Water is life, 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 life. Water is life, 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 life. Do just one thing,
Every drop count. Make sure you check for leaks around your house every day. Every drop count. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water, preserve the water, right now. Every drop count. Save the water whenever you're taking your shower. Every drop count. Make saving the water your business every hour. The water, the water, the water, the water right now. It's up to me and you and you and you and you. The water right now.
do just one thing.
But Jeff, you leaving already, boss? You sure you could drive after them drinks?
Yeah, I could handle it, You're not too far from here. I'm gonna take my time.
Oh my God! Jeff, you're gone! I told you not to drink and drive!
The problem with drinking and driving is the morning after. Drink responsibly.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Nevis National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention in collaboration with SKNIS.
Yeah. You are a mountain, you are a river, out there is a jungle, got to be stronger.
You can see a man's face, but never his heart. Trust no shadows after dark, no shadows after dark.
You can show you care, keep that love in your heart. Trust no shadow after shadow after dawn.
And whatever the circumstance, pushing you to take a chance, you better follow your intuition, telling you to take a stand.
You can see the face, but not the heart of those who want to do you wrong. So many born without a trace, gone without a song. You gotta believe and never let go. Because you can see a man's face, but you can't see his heart. Trust no shadow after dark, no shadow after dark. You can show you care, keep your love in your heart, but trust no shadow after dark. beautiful eyes, lies in this.
Can't trust wolf in sheep clothing. Don't take nothing from a man if you don't know him. Soon as you blink, another life will get stolen. Them are cooler than the lake, them were frozen. It's a crazy world we live in now. Open your eyes, you can see a man's face, but you can't see his heart. Trust no shadows after dark, no shadows after dark. You can show you care, keep the love in your heart. Trust no shadows after dark, no shadows after dark. You can see a man's face, but you can't see his heart. Trust no shadow after dark, no shadow after dark. You can show you care, keep that love in your heart, but trust no shadow after dark, no shadow after dark. There is pain in everything, but if hope is what you bring, there's a time and a place to ask for help. Don't be ashamed.
Even though it might seem hard, hold on, don't let go. You are careful of the personal information you disclose. You can see a man's face, but you can't see his heart. Trust no shadows after dark, no shadows after dark.
Protect the mothers, protect the elders, and protect our children from the traps and the snares out there.
See a man's face, but you can't see his heart. Trust no shadow after dark, no shadows after dark. You can show you care, keep that love in your heart. Trust no shadows after dark.
River so deep, stream so wide, but I never seen a mountain so high. We gotta face it, we gotta strive, gotta get over this, we gotta survive. So many disasters, so many crimes, so many wonders, so many signs, so many leaders, so many blind. Can't be sure in these uncertain times. Sorry for the people who die, risking their lives, standing on the front line. Sorry for the people who die, who never make it, leaving loved ones behind. I'm sorry for the people who die by this virus or this ongoing crime. So sorry for the people who die. Savior divine, help us all in this time. Don't shoot while you kill him. Oh, you're so willing. You sweet preserve and protect our lives. Hey, Mr. Villain, killing of millions. You can't make, but you take a life. So you start evolution, Mr. Delusion. With your supremacy and constitution, with your confusion, spreading pollution. Make your wait for see your retribution. Sorry for the people who die, risking their lives, standing on the front line. So sorry for the people who die, who never make it, leaving loved ones behind. I'm sorry for the people who die by this virus or this ongoing crime. So sorry for the people who die. Savior divine. divine, help us all in this time. River so deep, stream so wide, but I never seen a mountain so high. We gotta face it, we gotta strive, gotta get over this, we gotta survive. So many disasters, so many crimes, so many wonders, so many signs, so many leaders, so many blind. Can't be sure in this uncertain time. Sorry for the people who die, risking their lives, standing on the front line. So sorry for the people who die, who never make it, leaving loved ones behind. I'm sorry for the people who die by this virus or this ongoing crime. So sorry for the people who die. Savior divine, help us all in this time. And I'm really, really sorry.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
The following is a COVID-19 update from the COVID-19 Task Force and the Ministry of Health. The most common COVID-19 symptoms we are noting in the Federation are nausea, diarrhea, abdominal pain, severe headache, vomiting, body aches. Fever appears to be a late onset symptom. Persons experiencing any of these symptoms are asked to call your primary care doctor, your district medical officer, or call 311 for advice. Please do not leave home, travel on public transportation, or go to public places. This message was brought to you from the COVID-19 Task Force and the Ministry of Health.
Watch your step there, little man. That party's falling into the sea.
But Daddy, when it all slips into the sea, where will we live?
Well, son, that would take a long time. So let's not worry about that right now. Just enjoy the beach, okay?
Daddy, when Grandpa brought you to the beach, was it slipping in then?
I can't remember, but that shed over there was not so close to the water, so I guess so.
So Daddy, when I bring my children to the beach, will there even be a beach still? I learned all about climate change in school, and teachers said we have to change our habits or it would be even worse.
So, big man, what do you think we should do?
Really? Who is the daddy here anyway?
Okay. We will ask your teacher where she got her information, and then we'll do our own little part.
Good, because I want to keep coming to the beach with you, even when you're like 100.
Change your heart, change your habit. We the people can change how we approach the impact of climate change. A message of hope from Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change.
This is my land, my island, our home. It's time to come together to keep her forever resilient and strong.
Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change. The Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainable Land Management Initiative of the OECS Commission, funded by the European Union.
Go to islandresilience.org for more information or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Grace be to you and the peace be multiplied from God the Father and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Hi, I'm Jazzy D.
And I am called this Wingate. And we are blessed to be hosting the Sound of Praise,
our early morning gospel program right here on ZIZ Radio.
It's a morning of great music, inspirational features, and the uncompromised Word of God, which is basic instructions before leaving earth, and much more.
Join me, Jazzy D.
And join me, Call D. Springate, from 3 to 6 in the morning for the sound of praise. Hallelujah!
My hallelujah belongs to you.
One nation boss. Trouble in them.
Where humility is plenty, growth is a must.
Nation. When you see me, also looking like my last year. When I last, me just a looking at my thoughts. And I pray some things that people don't mean out the past. Knock like some perfect, everybody have them flaws. Long before the COVID thing, done enough for them, I wear a mask, yeah. Watch them kill the ass, them try go round the bus, yeah. Loyalty come with the cost, and I'm fi asking how I love it on me heart. Oh, anytime your heart too big, my lad, then we take you for a fool. And this is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No, and me can't do trust no girl when me remember what she do, man. This is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No. Now the people them will style me as they please, yeah. Like them want me forget all the memories. Me forgive but not forget, but kind of for them as some praise. The only thing my beg the Father protect me from enemies, alright. Always put my cues on my pace. Enough time it get lonely, but company at the least. There's a different energy when me get higher for the trees. Tanisha says she feel it all the way across the seas. It's a natural mystic blowing through the air, yeah. And if you listen carefully now, you will hear. Say it on your heart too big, my lad, then we take you for a fool. And this is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No. And me can't do trust no girl when me remember what she do, man. This is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No. Anytime your heart too big, my lad, then we take you for a fool. And this is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No. And me can't do trust no girl when me remember what she do, man. This is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans. No way.
It's alright. Go ahead and be yourself. Feel good. It's alright. It's alright. Don't you let them spoil the party. Feel good. It's alright.
Here comes the ad campaign that's selling vanity. Somehow they always claim they'll save humanity. Deep down they're all the same, moving commodity, trying to prey upon our pain and insecurity. And
chatting. Now mind them business, yeah, one them watching. Link with the feds, all the phone them tapping. Them got so much things to say. Sell out Marcus, the star line I could knocking. Sell out Jesus for the 30 piece. Vanity at the least, no Evans door them knocking. Brand will I mix, chalice a steam up. Books I read up, education left on the flip side. Me say you to the rise and live up on the head. And if you dream up, me tell them say, spliff a bun. A Guinness a beat and me say on the wall, 1 foot go lean up. Younger generation don't get lost by the media. Wonder where that I go lead up. Heights a reference price we giving always. Guide us through the nights and the days. You don't give up no matter how the things set. Remember say we just going to our face. Alright, over and over and over again. Some people have more to say than the books them. Same so them stay from way back when. No matter them, it's alright. It's alright. Remember me tell ya, it's alright. Oh, why are you talking? It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
All the COVID-19 vaccines have been thoroughly tested and all provide a high degree of protection against getting seriously ill and dying from the disease. So take whatever vaccine you are offered, even if you have already had COVID-19. It is important to be vaccinated as soon as possible and not wait. This way, we build immunity in our communities faster and can get back to our normal lives. This message is brought to you by UNESCO, WHO, and your local radio station.
Looking for the best price on your third-party insurance? Well, look no more. The insurance company of the West Indies, ICWI, has the best protection at the best price with no deductible. What are you waiting for? Click, call 465-8753 or visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road or in Nevis number 22 Solomon Arcade, Main Street. Payment options available.
Have you ever tried cleaning your shoes with wet paper towel? Or have you ever cleaned up spilled coffee with one sheet of tissue paper? Or maybe cleaned dirty paw marks off your rug with a wet cloth? Well, then you must know the frustration. Wasted time, wasted water, and wasted paper. Waste no more. Meet UniWipe, the mother of all wipes. It's bigger, it's wetter, it's stronger. Call our WhatsApp 246-417-0477 or email us at info@agilityexports.com to find out more.
Set your sight on a Nemo tree. I'll be waiting for you. In the night, long in Ebony Street. Someone waiting for you. We could be such naive fools with nothing to lose, yeah. Younger hearts got so much endurance. We do what we choose. We could be such underdogs. Hold your applause only till the dawn rise. The morning is night. When the skies wanna cry, it feels so good to know you're mine. Set your sight on an immortal tree. I'll be waiting for you. In the night, long in Ebony Street. Someone waiting for you. Summer salts and butterflies, no heart in denial. Inhaling in the morning prana. Oh, sun of fire, where I desire to be.
right, 17 minutes moving up to the hour of 10 o'clock. We do apologize for the late start in this morning's program of Policing With You, but we're going to get into that right now. And this morning program is coming to you compliments National Bank.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
All right, welcome back to our program. And this morning in the studio, by himself today. Usually we have two of them, but this one is just one. So it's going to be just me and the Superintendent Cromwell Henry. So let me say good morning to you, sir, and let's get right into our conversation.
Yes, good morning to you, GQ, and good morning to your listeners. Again, I want to apologize for the late start. We had some issues that we thought that we couldn't abandon the show, and so we had to do something, and so I'm here today. We apologize again.
Indeed.
And it shows us how important the show is to us. So I make the sacrifice and be here to speak to you today.
Indeed. A number of concerns are on the table, so to speak. Where would you like to start?
Yes. We've been having a lot of questions being asked about exercise and the suspension of this, on the suspension of retail liquor licenses. Persons seem not to be able to understand why. And we are getting some pushback. For example, for the small businessmen who have their small bars, they are saying that their businesses are affected while the big supermarkets are allowed to sell alcohol. And they think that it's unfair to them that the supermarkets could sell alcohol, but they cannot sell alcohol. And they do not seem to understand why. So I just want to explain the reason why and to take away that thinking that it is an attack on small business. It is further from the truth. The big supermarkets, they sell alcohol wholesale. Supermarkets do not pour alcohol for the customers to sit in the supermarket and drink. Now, we've said that the virus moves with people. And when people come into close contact, then the virus have an opportunity to move from person to person when we speak, when we laugh, when we shout, when we sing, even by just speaking. Right. And so the droplets from your mouth or your nose, if you sneeze, is aerosolized. So it's in the air. And it moves to the next person. That person contracts it and he sneezes or he coughs or he laughs, and it moves to the other person. So it's spread from person to person who are in close contact. Now, that is the type of environment you have at a bar. Persons sit at a stool at the counter close to each other, or they sit around a table or at a table in close proximity to each other, 2 feet, 3 feet apart, at most bars. And while they're there, they're socializing, they're giving jokes, they're talking about their experiences for the week, they're discussing the current affairs, and they're laughing. You know, they're making fun of it. They're trying to make themselves happy. They're not wearing masks while they're doing that because you cannot drink and wear your mask. And so that is the perfect opportunity for the virus to spread. When you have your mask off, when you're close to each other, and when you're talking and laughing and having fun. The virus is spreading in that environment. Coupled with the fact that there might be an enclosed environment. The bar might be indoor bar. So the place is enclosed. And so the virus is suspended in the air. And you breathe it in. And that is a dangerous situation. So to avoid that type of environment, the legislators have put in place some restrictions on that. And so the liquor licenses are suspended so that you cannot have that type of environment within the bars. You're not allowed to sit in bars and restaurants and socialize. And so we figure if we move the alcohol, then there will not be that attraction. And you know what alcohol does to us. It makes us, it impairs our sense of judgment. It impairs our normal abilities. And so persons tend to do things that they would not normally do once they are intoxicated. And so that is restricted to avoid that type of socialization at the bars. Again, with supermarkets, you do not have the same type of atmosphere. You go in the supermarket, you take a bottle of rum off the shelf, you go by the cashier, pay for it, and you go home. Or you go wherever. But you do not stay in the supermarket and socialize. And so that is the reason why the retail licenses are suspended, just to reduce or eliminate that type of atmosphere that we have at a bar that promotes the spread of the virus. Another issue that persons are having is the issue of exercise. Persons are saying that exercise is essential, and they don't understand why they should not be allowed to exercise. I agree, exercise is essential. Contrary to what I'm being accused of saying. Exercise is essential. However, it is not listed in the regulation as one of the activities that is permitted at this time. The regulation requires persons to remain at their residence during the period 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. However, it provides some opportunity for persons to come out for essential purposes. And it listed the essential purposes. There are supermarket. If you're going to the supermarket, of course, you must eat. If you're going to the restaurant, that again is an essential. Eating is essential. If you're going to the bank, because you need money to go to the supermarket. If you're going to access medical services, if you're those things that are listed in the regulation as being essential purposes. It also provides for the Commissioner of Police to add some other items some other things to that list of essential activities. So you would have to apply to the commissioner, make a case, and he would grant or deny at his discretion. So we are not saying that exercise is not essential. We are saying that you cannot just come out of your house and go to exercise, because again, the virus moves with people. And whenever people move, the virus moves. So if everybody come out the house and go on the street to exercise, then the virus moves with them. And most times you're not exercising with somebody from your household. And they meet up at some point, other persons, different groups meet up at different points along the way. And so that is an opportunity for the virus to spread. So that is why that type of activity is limited. We cannot have every activity that is essential, persons being allowed to do it. And so we try to control the opportunities that people have to go out so that we could keep the virus one place and not moving around. Remember, the virus only moves when people move. So if you stay home, if you have the virus and you stay home, the virus will stay home with you until you're recovered, till you're treated, till you're identified. But if you move about, then the virus moves about. And if you come into close contact with other persons, it jumps from person to person. And that is what we are seeing having now. If you listen to the CMO, she should have indicated that from their analyses, the viruses are moving through the contacts. So one person becomes positive, and then 5 other persons become positive who had contact with that one person. So that it means that every time you make contact with someone, you run the risk of passing the virus to them. And we do not know who are positive. So if we reduce our contact, then we reduce the opportunity for the virus to spread. So I just want to clear the air on these issues, that we are not preventing persons from exercising. You could find some means of exercising at your premises, and the commissioner the regulation has made it possible for exercising on the beach with the permission of the commissioner. So if you want to go to the beach for exercising, then you could apply to the Commissioner of Police and get permission to go to the beach for exercising. Again, that has to be controlled. We cannot leave it open So everybody go to the beach when they want to go to the beach. We have a time frame between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. that we grant for most people. And so we control the access to the beach by that way.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. The lines will be open, 465-2555. And if you're overseas, 718-577-2916. Remember, this morning program is coming to your compliments, National Bank.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
All right, welcome back. Superintendent will ask you to put on your headphones so we can entertain some questions and concerns, if any. 465-2555. Once again, you can send your messages and questions via BIP 767-3671. And I'm monitoring the YouTube channel, so you can also send your questions there. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, good morning and good morning, my superior.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for educating us all the time. The right man for the right time. Now, for time consuming, let me just make an input on one issue. Now you understand, and it's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Here is an individual who's supposed to be in self-quarantine in her place.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes out of a place in the same village, go down the road by where people down the by a bar, drinking beers in the street. And when the people who supposed to check and those who supposed to be in self-quarantine, when they go to check, she not in she house. She all the way down St. Paul's, from Sadler's, down there in the road again, drinking beers with people. So what I'm saying to those kind of people, when you catch them, people might say, well, what culture I say, but this is me. Look, this corona pandemic is life or dead. You either want to live or you're dead. And if you want to live, you will be careful and you would follow the protocol. My thing is this. When you catch people like me, so come out my house and go break the protocol, I supposed to be quarantined and me down the other way, wait a bit, and you catch me. Put me some licks and put me in the cell for 24 hours, and then the penalty supposed to be big like a bamanko, bigger than the law you break. Only so they're going to hear and stop this stupidness. Because how much more talking and teaching they want from you all? You all can't talk no more. Talk run out. And they're hearing you, but they just don't care. So make sure the penalty is a bamanko size penalty that they will make them here. Thanks for the time. Time short.
Thank you very much for that. Well, yes, we have that as a problem too. Persons who are told to remain in quarantine at their homes, they're being seen at places socializing and mingling with other people. Well, it's good that when members of the public know that these persons are to be in quarantine, you call them out. You tell them, girl, go home. Me selling you no beer. Don't allow them to be around you. Don't harbor them. Embarrass them so that they don't feel comfortable around you. If you know they're supposed to be in quarantine and they come to hang out with you, avoid them. Tell them, I'm not staying here with you. If they don't want to leave, then you leave. Mm-hmm. Make them feel uncomfortable so that they don't feel comfortable hanging out with a group of persons. Because when you encourage them to hang out with you, you're putting yourself at risk. Mm-hmm. Because if they happen to be positive or happen to be carrying the virus, they're going to pass it on to you. So if you know someone is supposed to be in quarantine and you see them out in public, avoid them. Call them out. Tell them go home. You're not supposed to be here. Let other people know that they're not supposed to be out. Mm-hmm. Embarrass them so that they go back home and they're not comfortable when they're outside. The government has recently approved additional accommodation for persons in these circumstances. So shortly we have more space available to have these persons at a facility rather than having them to be at home. But in the meantime, we ask persons to cooperate with the health authorities. If you're told to quarantine, because we will not be able to provide enough accommodation for everybody who's supposed to be in quarantine. And so we're going to have to utilize the home quarantine option, and we really appeal to persons to cooperate. If you have issues in terms of getting food supplies, we have opportunities for you to be assisted. The social services unit department, they're providing assistance. We have other NGOs and concerned citizens who are providing assistance in that regard. So you could call 311 and indicate that you have a need. Indicate that you need assistance and you haven't been getting, and assistance will be provided. It might be slow in coming because of the volume and because of other issues, but just reach out and someone would assist you. But do not take it upon yourself to leave your home, your place of quarantine, and go out in public. You're just putting the public at risk.
Let's back to the phone line. Hi, good morning, you're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Good morning.
Police officer.
Good morning, sir.
Some house there, Baker's Corner, make them available. Okay?
Yes.
All right, sir.
That's an idea, that's an option, but I don't know what the situation is with those homes there. I think he's talking about the complex at Baker's Corner, the apartment complex there. I don't know what the situation is with that, so I cannot really speak to it. But I guess something the authorities might be able to look at.
All right, let's go to the phone line. Let's try this one. Good morning.
Good morning, GQ.
Yes,
Good morning, Superintendent Henry.
Good morning, sir.
Henry,
yes, sir.
boy, I don't know, but everybody got to look out for everybody. This killing now, see?
Yes.
Inspector, I want when you finish the studio, you go down there by the Chinese. And where they got the hand sanitizing is not nice. I hear politics come up the circus and say, boy, down in the Chinese, no kind of protocols. I mean, they're situated right opposite Rams. The Rams carrying the protocols. Look, Henry, watch you. This is we country here, and we want people to understand that, and we want people to abide it. It's something, it's a pandemic, we're killing people. Not just about money. When you go down there, everybody just going in. You need to make him get a private security at the door where they could point out people to the hand sanitizer, not a cashier she back turn and seeing who coming in, and when she glimpse you, she'll tell you, sanitize your hand. And the position where the thing to sanitize, you can't see it. So people just walking going straight. I said this to say that, Inspector, that place help what we're going on in Sandy Point. Because most of the people leave and going there for better prices in the food. And I'm begging you, I'm urging you, please to go down there. And I hope I have your Samuel and the Attorney General and people who should be carrying out these things. Send somebody down there and correct the place before weekend. Because I will be coming. Have a good day, everybody. This is my country. You watch me back, Nico, what you want. You got to watch the officer one. Have a good day.
All right, John Doe.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Let's take another call. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, GQ.
Yes, man.
Yeah, blessed man.
Blessed morning, blessed.
A question for Mr. Henry. Is people moving around the COVID the satellite?
Well, the people, the virus moves with people. You could only catch the virus by someone who is infected, spraying respiratory droplets on you. And you'll get it from those respiratory droplets.
All right. We don't have any questions at the moment. Is there anything else you'd like to raise while we wait for some more calls?
Well, yes. Well, the whole issue of observing the protocols, as Jamdan would have just alluded to, persons going to the supermarket and they're not sanitizing. We want everybody to take personal responsibility. If you go to a supermarket, look for the sanitizing station and sanitize your hands. So don't just walk in because you didn't see it. Ask for it. If you see the supermarket crowded, you have a car?
Yes, we do.
Take the car.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Mr. Duque and Mr. Henry.
Good morning.
How are you?
Not bad.
We're good, thanks.
For the Chinese, I understand what Manners is saying, but it's up for us to carry out the protocols. Eh?
Exactly.
You make sure you have your stuff. Make sure, because even though the workers there, they are not paying any attention to anybody. They make sure they have on their mask, you know.
Exactly.
They have on the mask, so you make sure you do that too.
Exactly.
You sanitize your hand. You do what you know you're supposed to do. And a question for you, Mr. Henry. When you have someone die of COVID, how does the undertaker deal with that person? That is what I was kind of concerned. I can't get into the NCU when they're having the briefings.
That one
How
is
to deal with that?
that one is a bit above me. That the health persons would have to answer that question.
Okay,
But I would try to find out. I would try to find
when
out
they
the
have the
answer.
briefings.
Yes.
I don't know how to get a question in, so maybe you could kind of raise the question
Yes,
when they have another briefing.
Yes.
How does the undertaker, the person, deal with that body?
I'll pass on that question so that they could address it at the next briefing. Thank you.
Great. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
You
Stay
too.
safe.
You too, my dear. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Here's a question for you from via YouTube. If I need to go to the Social Security office, would that be allowed?
No, the Social Security office is only open. They're working remotely for the most part, and those persons who are at the office, they're only open. They're only there to do work inside that cannot be done remotely. They're not at the office to serve the public. So the Social Security is close to the public, so that person should not be on the street to go to the Social Security.
Okay. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's try another one. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, good morning, GQ.
Yeah, morning politics.
And good morning, Superintendent Henry.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful job. Continue to do it.
Thank you.
Now, I want to tell the lady where Jamdong was talking about. Jamdong was talking about a security by the door to see people sanitize their hands and check the temperature. Just like how Ram is doing. People just walk in and everybody in alike. Some people just don't care. Me, you understand that you were Jamdong talking about?
Yeah, I understand.
And again, Mr. Henry, what about you on a job site? I believe that you are supposed to start to investigate that, you know. Now, a tenant of on a job, right? Maybe the boss man, the supervisor, whoever over that job, he didn't care about the vaccine and sanitizer, nothing. And me on that job, and me one vaccine, and we got to meet one another sometime, we got to contact to one another. What you all could do, you all can go talk to the boss man and let he workers them go and take the vaccine. Nobody forcing nobody really, yeah? But we hear what's going on in the Federation right now. And I ain't gonna work around nobody, and me vaccine, fully vaccine, I gonna either get the work or something. You understand? Because a lot of people ignorant, just listening to fake news and social media and listening to the ignorance, and they had no interest to go and take the vaccine. Even if they have interest to go take the vaccine, that is returning the mind. And they have no complication, they have nothing. So I ain't want to be in an environment and we don't take the vaccine, because I hear the doctor said yesterday, as long as you take the vaccine, you could get the COVID still, and as long as you got poor health, you can die. All right then.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Well, job sites should really be closed at this time. All business and enterprise should cease operation unless they can remote function remotely using virtual means, or unless the Commissioner of Police authorize it. So really, these construction sites should be closed at this time.
Okay. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's try this one. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Inspector, and two inspectors here, GQ and Mr. Hay. Yeah, you get the drift of what Jamdong was saying.
Yes,
He's saying that as soon as you enter the door, the hand sanitizer area should be so visible
Yes.
that you could see that the first thing in the store, even before you see the cashier. That is made clear. Now, last night I was listening to Honorable Mark Brantley show, and he said that he understands that a lot of people breaching the protocol. They're using all kind of boat to travel between St. Kitts and Nevis. And the kind of thing was some of them say, excuse what they're going to carry down mango for sale and all kind of foolish, and you went them boy girlfriend and all kind of food. What I'm saying, we have a lot of people called constable, been trained recently. Have them be around the port of entry, the pier to pier. And anybody come in here outside of the protocol, you deal with them. How you get here? Why you come here? And the answer, if the answer is not a reasonable one, for them to leave the house and go seek help, well then you know what to go do with them. And what I say now again, that I think every police, once you're out on the street on duty or whatever thing, they should have a radio on the hip, not no cell phone. That if somebody calling for help, all radio is supposed to be tuned on that channel, and they would hear who need help and go and help them. Thank you very much again, gentlemen.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, he's correct. Persons really should not be moving about unless they're going to access one of the essential activities that essential services that I outlined previously. When we do come across such persons, they're challenged and they're turned back if they do not have a satisfactory reason. In terms of the boats, I know the ferry operators, at the ticket point, they will not sell you a ticket unless you could show that you have a valid reason or you prove to travel. Either you're an essential worker or you have some sort of authorization to travel. Several persons have been calling, trying to get over to Nevis, and they were having difficulty. So I know that system is in place, but like anything else, there are some persons who are going to try to get around and try and take shortcuts to beat the system. Now, when you do that, you're really putting the whole public at risk, or even yourself, because you might be clean, and because you take a shortcut and come in contact with other persons, you get infected. So you're really putting yourself at risk when you try to beat the system. Whatever system is in place to protect you, you try to beat it, you're putting yourself at risk. Because once you're exposed to people, you're exposed to the virus.
Let's back to the phone line. Let's try this one. No, let's try this one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. I am calling just to give my observation. I noticed that, as Mr. Politics just mentioned, well, he alluded to the fact that working and other persons working and he's vaccinated and other person not vaccinated, and so in the first case, they're not supposed to be working because construction people are not supposed to be working, they're not essential workers.
Correct.
Now, what I think is that the police need to drive around during the daytime to check all those construction sites to see where work is still in progress, even though it should be at a halt. This is what they should be doing. Driving around during the day to where persons are working construction, let them know that this is not normal time. They need to be home because we are locked down. Rather than as soon as 5 to 6, they're in the roundabout parking up to give tickets to persons who are going home at a minute or 2 minutes after 6. If I am in my car at 5 past 6 by myself coming home, I am going to get COVID. But if you're on a construction site during the day working, you could get COVID. So I think they're focusing on the wrong thing. They need to be going around during the daytime, checking to see persons who are breaking protocol, rather than being on the lookout for persons at 2 minutes after 6 to give them a ticket. Because if you're in a car going home at 2 minutes after 6 by yourself, you're not going to get COVID like that. Thank you and have a good day. And keep up the good work.
Thank you. Well, I would not agree with you that they should do one thing rather than the other. I think we need to do everything, all that we could to really enforce the law. So I would not support doing one rather than the other. We need to do everything. And we do go around and check for violations. We cannot do it alone. We always appeal to the public's assistance in identifying and pointing out to us these infractions. So if you know there's a construction site in your area and persons are working, call the police and let us know, because we cannot go to every single area during the course of a day. We are limited in our numbers, and so we have to rely on the public for intelligence, for information that we could act upon. We do it. Just before I came here, we got a report that there are a group of fellows playing basketball on the basketball court at Dorset. We respond to that. So these are the kind of things that we encourage. If you see something, say something. Don't expect the police to find out everything on their own. We will do what we can, but we expect the public to assist us with the rest.
All right. Let's go back to the phone line. All right. Mr. One, let's try this one. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, GQ. Good morning, Superintendent
Good morning, sir.
Cromwell,
Morning.
Henry, and all your listeners. With respect to what Mr. Politics mentioned about someone being vaccinated and another person not being vaccinated, my thing is, if you are vaccinated, I don't see why you should be so concerned about the person who is not vaccinated, because as far as I'm concerned, if you are vaccinated and you so much believe in this vaccine thing, you should be more protected, better protected than the person who is not vaccinated. So I see no reason why that should be an issue for you. And with respect to the persons who are walking, jogging, people who are going for the early morning strolls, the early morning walks, most of those individuals, they go on their own. So if I am going on my own for a walk on the road, I personally don't see why that should be an issue, because most of the individuals, they go on their own, they don't go in groups. If at all you see more than one, you may just see two persons. So with respect to the early morning exercises and people doing their morning walks and so forth, I really actually don't see why that should be prohibited. And another thing is, we have a situation now where we have 11 hours of curfew. The other 13 hours we can move, people can move about, but less people are moving because of fear. So with respect to the completion of the roadworks on the western side, I believe the Surrey paving should be allowed to utilize this period where the traffic is a lot less and complete the roadworks, because there are so many potholes in Lamberts and those areas there. They're taking a heavy toll on our buses. We are carrying the loads, and they're damaging the shocks, the suspensions, and the front ends of the buses. And the spare parts are not easy, Superintendent Hen, are not cheap. The authorities are aware of that. So to maintain a bus, a private jeep, or any vehicle is very expensive. So it would be nice if they can make some special provisions for Surrey paving to complete the road works now that the traffic level is a lot less people traveling. So I believe that if they patch up the potholes on the western side,
Your point is made. Your point has been made. Your point. Do you have another point?
Well, I will advise people to follow the protocols everywhere, wear your mask, sanitize, wash your hands with soap and water, which is the best. Soap and water much better than hand sanitizers, but if you have that, you use it. And let's try to fight this wicked COVID, because this is really demonic and causing havoc throughout our islands. Have a blessed day, my friends.
You too,
sir.
man.
Well, I like your last recommendations. Just follow the protocols, whether you're vaccinated or not. I hope you're not suggesting that because you're vaccinated, you should not have any care about anything and live carefree. Even you're vaccinated, we are told that you still can be infected and you can still pass on the virus. Vaccination is not
foolproof.
Foolproof. It does not make you immune to infection. It just reduces your chances of dying and reduces your chances of being hospitalized with serious illness. So we ask you to still follow the protocols to avoid being infected and to avoid passing on infection, even if you're vaccinated. With respect to the road works, I know he said that it will be good if the road works will continue now that traffic is slow, but you have people working on the road, and those persons are coming from different households, and so those persons can be infected. And so if you have the virus spreading among the persons who are working on the road, you have that group of persons who become sick, and then they cannot do any work at all. So while it is a good idea to have the road work being done while the traffic is slow, you still have to take in consideration those persons who are doing the road work's health. And they are coming into contact with each other, and they are coming from different households with different risks, and they could pass on the virus among themselves. So we still want to treat that with some care.
Caution,
caution, yes. The exercise, yes, most persons exercise in pairs or by themselves, but if you have 100 people exercising by themselves, at some point they're going to cross each other and they're going to come into contact. So if two of us are walking, we can meet up another two persons and that other two will meet up another two persons, and they're going to stop to talk. At the end of the walk, they might meet up at some point, and they're going to group and talk. We see it happen. And so we cannot allow that situation, because there's no guarantee that everybody going to walk by themselves and not come in contact with anybody else. Once there are people on the road, people are going to meet each other, and they're going to stop to talk. I myself walk. The two of us usually walk at mornings. And we meet people, and we stop and we talk. So sometimes there's a group of 4 of us talking, because we meet 2 other persons, and they stop us to speak to us. So 4 of us are there speaking. And it might be, you might meet a group of 3. You might have 5 or 6 people end up talking. When you reach the end of your route, you might meet other persons there exercising, and you are steady and you talk. These things happen. And so to avoid that, it is best that no one be on the street for that purpose, so that there's no chance, there's an opportunity for persons to meet up together and talk.
Okay. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, I come here back out here again. I agree with politics. Whether you have your vaccination, yes or not, and he has on his mask and another person don't have on the mask, India is not safe.
Right.
Because this thing here, this community spread thing, it's in the air, we cannot see it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't like that, why it requires for people to sanitize their hand as soon as they push the road they're going? Sanitize your hand all over the place where you have to touch. So politics is right. So because he got on, he vaccinated and he got on a mask, you mustn't be concerned about other people's health. And the virus was going to stay in the building where you be.
Exactly.
People, understand yourself before you talk. Have a good day.
All right. Don't have any calls at the moment. Oh, we do now. Sorry. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Mr. Host.
Good morning.
I'm not too sure if is it, what do you call yourself, GQ or?
St. Clair's fine.
Okay, sir. And good morning to the superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, sir.
God bless the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. I just want to say that we are supposed to be praying in season and out of season. The Word of God admonishes us that we must pray without ceasing, and men ought always to pray and not to fail. And so I do know, even though some persons do not come on the radio and publicize that they are praying for the Federation, there are some of us who have been dedicated and committed to pray without ceasing. And I want us to understand, and that is why so many persons are panicking and are being afraid, because it looks like too many persons in this federation and beyond are waiting until some crisis come on our hand to want to reach out to God. But I thank God for those of us who are called the salt of the earth, and we are not losing our savor. And it's because of the prayerful persons who are in St. Kitts why many are able to go about and say St. Kitts is blessed. And indeed, we are blessed, St. Kitts and Nevis, but we ought not to take it for granted. Let me hasten to say that I was glad when I heard yesterday, I think it was from the head of the task force, Mr. Samuel, or so, someone like that, said that they are hoping by Monday to be able to put persons who are in quarantine in their homes, in facilities, because this is one of the main problems that we are having in St. Kitts. Accordingly, persons have been leaving their homes and going to the supermarkets and other places, and they are supposed to be in quarantine. So I was glad to hear that. As a matter of fact, one particular person who works at a particular supermarket said that she knows that there was one person who was positive, and because that person was positive and put in isolation, others from that home were told to stay at home. They're in quarantine, and she saw them going to that supermarket to shop. And I told her she must report it. And so I am glad that something like that is going to be taking place to get these people who are dishonest. Police and the army cannot be here, there, and everywhere. They are limited in terms of their movements to a certain extent. It's just for persons to be honest. That's it. Honesty is the best policy. And last, I want to say, Mr. Superintendent, maybe you can shed some light on this for me, because you're the one who would know better. From all appearance, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, I was told that the hardwares are closed.
Yes, that's correct.
Supermarkets are open.
Yes.
I don't know what criteria you all use or used. To me, it seems like supermarkets would be more clustered, filled with persons, more than a hardware. And like I said, I do not know. You all must know why that is being done. So I am not knowledgeable. I can't speak as one who is in authority in this regard. But because, again, the hurricane season is on, and I also know for sure that there are persons who would like to get materials to fix up their buildings and blah, blah, blah. I am wondering if that can't be looked at again. Now, I listen off here because you who are in the driver's seat will be able to let me know. Well, you know, you're saying that, but we are doing this or did this because of this or that. Thank you very much for your time.
Right. Thank you. Now, as I started by saying that the virus moves with people. And so the more people move, then the more opportunities the virus have to move. So if you have the hardwares open and the supermarkets open, that is two different sets of opportunities for the virus to move. The persons who are in the hardware, they're spreading their own set of virus there. And the persons in the supermarket, they're spreading both viruses. So we have two distinct group of people who are spreading the virus among each other. So it's better to have one so that you know that the numbers are reduced than to have two. Because if you open the hardware for that reason, then the salon's going to make the same case. Well, people want their hair cut, people want their hair treated. We're not going to have any crowd in here, we're going to just do one person at a time. And so they'll make a case using the same yardstick. We're not going to be as crowded at the supermarket. Now for the supermarket, they really should not be crowded because they're allowed to open every day, 7 days a week at this time. And so there's really no need for supermarkets to be crowded. If the supermarket is at its capacity, then persons should wait outside and observe the physics protocols in the line while you wait.
Mm-hmm.
So the supermarkets, you should really be able to use the supermarket and have the sufficient physical distance while you shop. So the risk should be able to be controlled while you're in the supermarket because you have 7 days opportunity to shop, and so you could choose when you want to go to the supermarket, and which supermarket you go to.
All right, Superintendent, I know I'll give us some extra time, but this is totally up to you.
Yes,
we have at least...
I have another meeting now, so...
Okay, great. So what we're going to
begin to wrap up now.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take these last set of calls that we have, and there's another question. Actually, someone is saying to tell you, say, good morning, GQ. Please tell Mr. Henry that there are bars down at the terminal and they are open and selling drinks. Okay, well, the issue with those bars, some of them do not sell alcohol alone. Some of them sell food as well, as snacks and soft drinks. So rather than closing them down completely, we give them the opportunity to sell their food items and their soft drink, but it must be on a takeaway basis. Persons really should not be hanging around down there to eat their food or to drink their soft drink. You could take your food because the regulations provide for restaurants and bars to serve
takeout only. So the bars down there that are selling food, they can open to sell their food, but it should only be for takeout. You should not sit down outside the bar to eat your food.
Okay. All right. It's just about 2 minutes to go before 10:30. We're going to take our first set of calls. If you have any questions or concerns to raise with Superintendent, if not, we're going to wrap it up. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You know, I'm a man who loves my bears. I'm not innocent. I can take a shot here and there. And it's a shame to me. Sorry, the superintendent has to take the burden to watch over this liquor thing, because it should be the Ministry of Health, because we really care about the people. And you know drinking is a problem. You're locked up for 2 weeks. You know what it does to families, men not working. Particularly the men. They want their drink, so and so and so and so. But it's health. They live in states of suicide, the home, the violence, all the other things that happens when you're drinking and you're confined.
Right.
Why don't they just stop liquor all around? Don't sell it in no rams. Hide liquor. It's not right. I know it's not your thing, sir. Ministry of Health, but they're putting the burden on you. There should be no liquor whatsoever. I went to buy a beer at Baker's Corner. The Chinese have covered their liquor. I said, wow, this is good. All the liquor is covered. Some of them even off the shelf. Now, why can't you just do that? Why does Rams have to sell liquor and say, oh, it's only wholesale? Stop liquor, period. Liquor should not be sold, period. Let Rams and everybody else hide their liquor. It shouldn't be seen like cigarettes. This is a sickness. But they put it on you to police it. Wrong. That's all I got to say.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. Thank you for your concern. Raising your concern.
I understand his concern, but as I say, the restriction is not on the consumption of alcohol. The restriction is on the sale of retail alcohol at licensed premises, so that we don't have the type of socialization, type of gatherings at these premises while person consume the alcohol. If there's a social problem drinking at home, then I'm certain once that become evidence, then other measures could be taken to deal with that.
All right. Well, we had one more call. I was going to say go final call, but we can wrap it up now, Superintendent.
Yes. Well, we just want to thank those persons who would have called in and share their views and raise issues. I trust that I will be able to answer your questions and address your concerns. I just want persons to understand that all the measures that we are enforcing, they are intended to keep us safe. They're not intended to apply pressure to you. They are intended to keep us safe. The whole regulation starts out by saying, in an effort to prevent the spread and control of the coronavirus. So all the measures, all the protocols are intended to prevent the spread and to control the coronavirus in the Federation. So we want persons to look at it in that light. Do not look at it as we are trying to stop you from exercising. We are trying to stop you from drinking. We are not doing any of that. Or we are doing it because we don't want you to catch the virus. Or spread the virus. So don't look at it from a personal standpoint. Look at the big picture. Look at the effect of what you do that would have on the country and what we are trying to prevent. So we want persons to follow the protocols, cooperate with the police. I know we like socialize. We've had several backyard parties that we had to break up for the week so far. One person was arrested. A number of tickets were issued to persons. We want persons to recognize that you're putting yourself at risk when you do that. If you try to sneak in somebody's house to have a party, when you come out, you might come out with corona. And then you have to tell the contact tracers where you went. And that's going to expose you. So please look at it from a health standpoint and avoid the crowds.
Superintendent, I want to thank you for being here, and I apologize for telling you to wrap up. I had a question for you, but as you say, I was on the phone there.
If you have a question, we'll take it.
My question was to you, my personal question is to you, is what happens after Saturday?
Well, the current regulations expires on the 26th, and so the task force would advise cabinet whether or not measures, because things are in a good position for us to open back. If not, recommendations will be made to extend or to tighten or to ease, but new regulations will be made on Saturday.
All right, so
and so we will know what's the position. I remember I said in one of my presentations that the regulations are intended to improve the situation. And so if the situation is not improving, the regulations would have to remain until the situation improves. And the situation would only improve when we get compliance, full compliance. Barring that, we will continue to have the restrictions in place. If you want to see the restrictions ease, just comply. And once you comply, you will see the numbers going down, and we will be able to ease the restrictions. We cannot ease restrictions if we continue to have new cases. That will just be making the situation worse. So as long as we are getting new cases, the restrictions would have to be in place, and they may have to get tighter. So please, we don't want restrictions to remain in place. We don't want them to get tighter. Just comply, and once you comply, we will see results. And once we get the results that we want, we're able to lift them and go back to our normal lives as quickly as possible.
So hopefully by Saturday, we'll all know the way forward.
What would happen next.
All right, then. Superintendent, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned. Frank and Kenny coming up next at 11 o'clock.
Tell me what you think about equal rights for all.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your